There, you're live.
See
It
what
was like hesitating. It was like, and then
I know.
boom.
I know. Hey, everybody. I'm Jack Hollingsworth. Welcome to Sibling Revelry. I am Jack Hollingsworth, a comedian and children's pastor. And with me is world famous knitting instructor, Tess Scott.
You never know. You just never
Tess,
know.
how
Good
are
morning,
you?
Jack. Good morning. I'm not a knitter, but I am here today. And I'm so excited about this show because my friend Jennifer Hand, but I call her Jen because she's my friend, is with us today. I want to introduce you to my friend Jen. She is a strong coffee drinking lover of Jesus. She has a zest for life and loves to go on adventures around the world, even though she probably gets lost somewhere along the way, which I understand. She is an author, a speaker, a podcast host, executive director of Coming Alive Ministries. She is a trauma recovery coach or expert, maybe probably a coach too, and loves to go on crazy adventures. Her second book launched this week. So look at this.
Look at you, Tess.
Look at this. Hope Beneath the Rubble, Healing After Trauma. And I also have her first book because I love her so much. And it was so good. I haven't read the second one yet. But she is a great author and I can't wait for you to get to know her today.
Oh, I love it, Tess. I have my strong coffee right here. It's espresso, so I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you notice how she was holding her coffee with both hands when the show started? Like
she's
not
scared.
only does she like coffee, but she's afraid someone's going to steal it from her.
Well, yes, or I get excited, Jack, and I have been known to spill my coffee everywhere. I also, random fact, love my coffee extra hot. So if I spill said coffee, I have gotten second-degree burns because my ideal coffee drinking temperature is 197 degrees Fahrenheit.
That seems really hot.
It's really hot. I think it's probably bizarre, but
Yeah.
I like it hot. So
I see. So you've got really calloused lips then. That's
yes,
what
I
was
cannot
thinking.
feel or taste anything, you know.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine.
I only know it's 197 because I have a mug that, you know, the fancy someone gave me. You can plug it in and it tells you the temperature and it's very high tech.
Whoa.
So that is not
Okay.
this mug. This mug is just a plain old from Six Flags of America
Sure.
mug. So
But it's a big one, so it will hold a lot of strong coffee.
that's right.
Now, is there a particular coffee bean that you like, or you'll just take any coffee?
Dark roast. No medium roast for me.
Dark roast? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And do you take anything in it, or you just drink it
No.
black?
Just stout with a little cinnamon on top.
So stout?
Just strong. I like it like really, maybe some sludge on the bottom.
Okay.
You're not really selling this well.
Well, Jack, you should try it.
Yeah. I don't even like coffee when I do you know what a double is?
No.
So a double is 2 sugars and 2 milks.
Or cream.
And it basically you're trying to dilute the coffee out of the coffee.
All right. Well, you enjoy your double, and I'll have my double espresso.
Oh, double espresso. Wow. So Jen, do you have tell us about your relationships. Are you married? Do you have children?
Nope, no to either one of those. I'm
Okay.
single. I think I've been busy traveling the world for Jesus, so no one can keep up with me.
Very
So,
good. And what parts of the world have you gone to?
well, I've been to 56 countries. So,
Wow.
yeah. But I do live 5 minutes from my twin sister. I'm often seen walking down the street carrying something from my house to her house. Yesterday it was a vacuum cleaner. And she has 4 kids. So being an aunt to them is the most fun.
That's so cool.
That's awesome. So when you travel to these countries, what do you do?
So I do a mixture of trauma care. I'm trained. I have a master's in trauma counseling. So I often show up after natural disasters. People say I carry the disasters with me, but I follow them. I just show up to help debrief people after they've experienced something earth-shattering, life-changing, like a earthquake or war. I also do missionary care and a mixture of that, and now travel and train about trauma to people that don't have access to resources like we do.
Wow. How do you get into something like that?
Well, I had served overseas in the country of Nepal, and I
Okay.
speak Nepalese, which is really only helpful there. Yeah, it's not really a language we often use here.
Right.
And I had come back, gotten my master's in counseling, and they had an earthquake in Nepal. And I went to provide debriefing to help them process this life changing, earth shattering rubble of their lives. And that began the journey of God calling me to stand. I say stand with people on the holy ground of suffering with them.
Man,
Wow, that's deep.
what a challenge that would be.
Mhm.
That's amazing. So how did you meet my sister Tess?
So we met at a conference called Speak Up, and I loved Tess immediately. I knew she was a lot of fun. So is she fun, Jack? I mean, she's fun, right?
She is a lot of fun. Has she told you about Minute to Win It?
No. Did she win it in a minute?
Oh. So this is what we do in in my family with my kids, because my kids and grandkids and Rick and I is 25 people now. So I only demand that they all get together with us twice a year during the week of Christmas, and also in the summer, one day, Minute to Win It championship. 2 teams, huge trophy, Minute to Win It games, a lot of smack talk, laughing, and yeah, so fun.
Who has the current trophy?
Well, one of the teams, and the teams stay the same every year. You can't be on the same team as your spouse, and yeah, there's a lot of smack talk and big picture, and a picture of the sad team, and yeah, and I think this was the 4th annual this year.
I love that.
So, yeah,
I love that.
It's my favorite day of the year. I think I love it.
So, are you on the winning team or the non-winning team?
I don't go on a team because I'm planning the games, and usually one of my granddaughters comes and helps me plan the games and figure it all out and buy all the supplies and everything. So Angela Chambers is in the house, and she is saying hi. So good morning, Angela.
Hi, Angela. Good morning.
Angela is in Georgia?
I think, where is Angela? No, she is in South Carolina, I think.
Oh, maybe South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
well, she said y'all. I love it. She said
y'all. Mm-hmm. I know.
Yeah. And then she said a hey.
Serious hey.
Yeah, that's right. So your first book, Alabama.
Yeah.
Alabama. So not too far from me.
All right. So your first book is talk about the table. What's the title of your first book? It's say leaving yes on the table.
My yes is on the table.
Mm-hmm. My yes is on the table. Now, what in the world does that mean?
I loved your face when I shared this with you earlier, Jack. It means that the Lord really worked on my heart. Well, will you already say yes? Will you put your yes on the table before me so that wherever, whatever, however I call you, whether that's to go to the grocery store and share the love of Jesus with the person you encounter in the bread aisle, or whether that's to go somewhere far, far from where you are right now to a language you don't even speak, that you've pre-decided to say yes. And then you move from fear stops to faith steps, where you recognize, you know what, I am afraid, but I'm asking you, Lord, to help me acknowledge that fear and then watch you come alongside me as I move from fear to faith.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Tess has said before, when it comes to speaking, do it scared.
Do it scared, right? That's Carol Kent. Like, I know you're scared, and this is what she said to me in a big conference, hundreds of women. She didn't know me. It's like before I ever spoke, like on a stage, and she said, I'm telling you, she looked right at me, Jen, and she pointed her little finger. She's so sweet, and she said, you know what God's asking you to do, and you're scared, and I've got the answer for you. And I thought, hot dog, she's going to tell me that God only chooses the women who are good girls, who are on their first marriage, who wear the big lace collars, those girls.
Lace collars.
Remember those big box lace collars? She did not say that. She said, do it scared. And I was like, oh, man, because I didn't want to. But it's the same thing.
I love that. I think that's the faith life, right? And I love how God didn't like in Joshua, which the book of My Yes is on the Table follows the journey of the Israelites in the position where they're on the edge of the promised land and they're about to go in. And in Joshua, God said to him, "Be strong and courageous, for I am with you." And I love that he didn't condemn him for his fear or pretend he wasn't afraid. He gave the solution, "I am with you." And I'm so grateful for that because I feel like we have to do things all the time that if we didn't have that promise, we would stay stuck in a fear stop instead of
Yep.
taking the faith step.
The fear stop versus the faith step. Can we also comment on the fact that you have a secondary beverage off to the side?
This is water. Yeah, this is water, I promise. At least that's
So
what I'm going to tell. No, it
you're
really is.
you're double fisting espresso, and then you've got
I am prepared. I mean, it's early, you know?
absolutely. And
So
just in
Jenn,
case,
sorry, I have a question. Jenn, tell Jack what your cold drink favorite is.
Oh, it is a jalapeno Diet Coke. Yes, you can order them at Sonic, which is a drive-through fast food restaurant here in America. And I don't know if you have them in Canada, but you get happy hour drinks if you have the app. And you can add things, and jalapeno was one of the options, and I love it.
All right.
wow. And how spicy is it?
You know, not too spicy to me, but to someone that doesn't
Right.
like jalapenos in their drink, maybe
Yeah.
spicy.
So here's the problem, though. Usually, when you're eating jalapenos and they're too hot, you take a quick drink of your Diet Coke.
Yes.
Right? What are you going to do if your Diet Coke drink is too hot?
That's why you have multiple beverages.
Oh.
We had an aunt who used to give us tea, and she'd let us drink it out of a straw, which is a terrible idea because it was always hot, and we'd be sucking on the straw, and then suddenly you'd have a mouthful of hot liquid, and when something's hot, you go
Oh,
that.
yeah.
So now you're filling your mouth with more hot liquid, and she would laugh.
Did you do that too, Tess?
Yeah,
I
it
love
wasn't
it.
197 degrees or anything, but it was.
I mean, you know, I
We don't
understand
know
that.
how hot it was. We never had those fancy Tennessee cups with thermometers on them.
I know. Well, it might have been 197.
It was
It might have.
probably hotter.
Oh.
That's amazing. So, Jenn, in all your travels, have you ever been to Canada?
Yes, once, only once. I went to Niagara Falls, and in fact, our family, we were on the budget plan, and so my dad, we drove all the way to Canada, and my dad had a pickup truck that he put a camper top on, bolted seats in the back, turned going the opposite direction of the, so
Yep.
you're backwards, and we rode my sister and I in the back to Canada that way. It was so fun.
Wow. So you probably came through close to Sarnia,
Oh, okay.
where we are, and you didn't even drop in. So that's
You know,
That's
I
sort of
was, I think, maybe 11 years old at the time, so I didn't really
there's
have a,
always excuses. There's
yeah,
always
I didn't really have a choice.
yeah. So you wrote your first book, My Yes is on the Table, which is a terrifying thought. Come on, it is like, okay, I'm gonna trust, like it's okay to say, yes, Lord, I trust you in my house with my coffee and my ceiling fan blowing nice cool air on me.
Yeah.
However, what if he actually does something crazy and calls me to the Gobi Desert or to Nepal? I mean, can you imagine going to Nepal? It'd be crazy. So then what was your inspiration for writing your second book?
So this recent book, actually, it's cool. I found a journal 2 nights ago. I was reading an old prayer journal, and I just happened to pick this one, and it was September of 2015. And I had just been in Nepal after, for the second time after they had the earthquake. And I remember being in this village where literally there was rubble everywhere, like ruins. And all the people in the village were there waiting for me to give them a message of hope. And I had never seen destruction like that. And this was my first natural disaster to respond. And I remember kneeling down and I was asking God, where is hope here? And I looked, and among the rubble, there's not really churches in Nepal, but this village had a church. And there was a cross that had been on top of the church. And it was buried, crumpled underneath the rubble. And I felt the Holy Spirit say, there's always hope beneath any rubble, and it is the cross. And so I wrote in my prayer journal, I believe God will call me to write a book offering hope beneath the rubble. And that was 2015. And guess what? The day my book release was the same day in 2025 that I had written in that prayer journal that I wanted a book to come out called Hope Beneath the Rubble.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's amazing. So do you go on speaking tours throughout the States?
I do. I speak in the States. I do a lot of speaking and trauma care overseas as well.
Wow. That is some amazing stuff. Tess, how many books do you have?
Well, I have one book.
And Jenn has 2.
I know. I have to catch up.
Well, I actually have 9.
What? Was that a snort?
That's what she's most famous for. I mean, she's amazing in lots of ways, but the snort is my favorite part.
There was a little laugh snort there, wasn't there?
Yeah, it does come across sometimes. It comes
I
out.
like that. You have 9 books?
I do, yes. Yeah.
Oh.
Like all in the same sort of topics?
Different topics. The first bunch were all devotionals. So I have 31 days to coming. Let's see, this is a test. 31 days to coming alive at the cross, 25 days to coming alive at Christmas, volume 1, volume 2, The King is Coming, which is an Advent study, Dateless, Not Dead, Living Fully Alive as a Single, and let's see, Confessions of a Coffee Cup Collector, My Yes is on the Table, and now Hope Beneath the Rubble.
Wow.
Folks.
Wow. I did not know that.
That is a lot of writing.
I have a lot of words. I used to get in trouble in school. I never got to go to playground because I was in trouble for talking. So, I tell my sister now, whose kids may or may not sometimes have the same experience in school, that it's fine because look at how I turned out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, what's one of the most interesting stories you've had from your travels?
Oh, I have so many amazing experiences in my travels, but yeah, I'll share this one. It's funny because y'all are a laughing show, and I told Tess I would share this. In my book, I talk about the story. So one thing God has gifted me with, I believe, that is unique, is that I can talk about trauma in a sort of a light sort of way without undermining the serious, heavy emotions that come with trauma. And I myself have experienced trauma. I mean, I've been in now 2 major earthquakes, a car accident that almost killed me, a tornado hit my house. I was in a missile attack in Ukraine, doing
A missile
trauma
attack?
care. Yes. So, I mean, I've had some trauma, and but I love to describe. So I was in the Middle East at the Turkey airport once, returning from a trip. And I had on a long skirt because that's kind of what you wore there, And I was on one of those moving sidewalks that moves with you. And my skirt was a little too long. And I got to the end of the moving sidewalk and I kept walking and my skirt did not, because it got sucked in to the moving sidewalk. And it just literally sucked it off my body into the conveyor belt. And then I was just there in the Turkey airport with nothing, no skirt. So
Wow.
I just casually had to walk until I found an area where I could open my carry-on suitcase.
So you never got your skirt back?
I never did. And I'm certain that there's like a picture of my face somewhere in that airport. Or
Probably. Security has a wall of famous people.
And I am on it, yeah.
And also, I have a feeling that at the other end of that moving sidewalk, the skirt showed up again.
It probably did, yeah. And someone's like, what happened?
It's probably still going around to this day.
I could not stop laughing. It was hysterical to me. But I liken that to what it's like when you've experienced a trauma. Like you're just going about your life, and then all of a sudden you're vulnerable. Like you're at, you feel unsafe. Um, Not that I did at that moment, but it just is a very vulnerable place to be. And you have to decide, how am I going to keep walking forward? And what am I going to do? And so that is kind of the picture I start this book with is, you may have experienced an earth shattering event or a series of events, but how do you move forward and continue in your journey after this? So.
Wow. So if you could break everything down to say three steps, the three basic steps of taking a next step when you've been through a trauma, what would you say those three steps are?
I think the first step is to recognize that if rebuilding is possible, you will find your new normal. But the first thing you need to acknowledge is just to say, I don't feel normal. I don't. I think noticing where you are is super important. So whether the trauma happened yet today, or you all of a sudden have a trauma trigger, and you're feeling that fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, which I talk about a lot in the book, those things were meant to serve us by God, but sometimes we get stuck in them. So being a noticer, where am I at?
Okay.
And I think every person, when I have experienced meeting with someone that's been through a trauma, they're asking first, am I normal? Or the first question they're asking is, will I ever be normal again? Then they're asking, what is normal? And then what is my new normal? So starting with rebuilding is possible, but you kind of have to understand the effects of trauma, and then look at your brain and your body the way God made them, how you can use them to begin those baby steps of healing. How can you lean into others and then experience hope? So the book goes through that process.
Wow. So good.
There was a bunch of fight, flight.
Mm-hmm.
What were the other ones?
Freeze or fawn.
What's fawn?
So fawn is when instead of fighting or fleeing from a situation, you become a people pleaser. You're going to do whatever it takes to, that's how you deal with your stress or your trauma. And that's one that's newer. It's not been talked about as much, but it is now considered part of the response that the body has to trauma.
Wow. So when you talk to people, can you actually see, oh, this person is frozen?
Usually you can tell. And usually if they learn a little bit, it helps them, oh, this is what I'm doing. I'm frozen or I'm fighting. And it's very empowering to begin to recognize those things.
Wow. So tell us about the missile strike.
So I had gone to Ukraine to provide trauma care during the war. And I was in the capital city driving first of all, driving was terrifying. But I went to a lady's apartment who needed food. And while I was in the elevator with her, the air raid sirens went off and there was a missile strike on the city, and the power went out, and I was stuck in that elevator on the 18th floor in the middle. So a very tiny elevator.
All right. Because I don't think any of the guests we've had on, and Tess, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think any of our guests have ever lived through a missile strike.
None of them have mentioned it, for sure.
It doesn't come up. Okay.
I think that would be the first card I would play. Hi, I'm Jack, and I've lived through missile strikes, and have me on your show.
Wow.
I should start pitching that.
I survived that. Yeah.
And you survived that. That's right. And you've had so Tennessee is kind of a tornado alley, right? Like you have tornadoes.
Yes, yeah. In fact, right after, while riding, my guess is on the table, we had a major tornado hit my town and just destroy it. So, yes.
And did it wreck your house?
It did damage to my house. My house is still standing, but it did hit my house. Yes.
Okay. Do you have pets, cats or dogs?
I do not. No, I'm too busy. I can barely keep my plants alive.
She travels too.
I want to be in the room when Jenn tells her sister, like they're watching the news and right, like there's war in Israel or something, and Jenn says, okay, so I guess that's the next place that I'm going. I should be there in about 24 hours. And her sister has like a minor coronary.
Yes. Yeah. And my whole family. Yeah. It's hard. It increases their prayer life for sure.
Yeah, that's one way to put it, for sure. For sure.
Absolutely. So have you been to the Middle East?
Yes, multiple times.
Wow, that's amazing.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. What's the most interesting country you've been to?
Oh goodness, I love something in every country. So I spent most of my time in the Middle East and Asia, and then a sprinkling in South America, one country in Africa. So it's so hard to answer that question. I find something I love in every place because there's people in every place, and it's amazing when you get to learn their cultures. The way God made everyone so different, but in the end of the story in Revelation, every tribe, tongue, nation will be together worshiping Jesus, and I love that promise.
Yeah.
Very good. Tell us about your earring choice for this morning.
Oh, what do I have in? Okay, I always have big earrings, Jack, and I mean, especially because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not usually like talking professionally to people at this time in the morning. So, not that this, we're just friends here, but
Just friends.
so I needed to cover the bags under my eyes. But these are made at a place called Project Free, the number 2 Fly, and they hire women coming out of hard situations, and I love them. In fact, my dream was to someday get an earring named after me. And when I released my guesses up on the table, they had a line called the Jenn. So it was a big earring. These are not the Jenn, but
Wow,
that's so
you've got
cool.
earrings named after you.
I did.
That's
None of our other guests have ever had earrings named after them.
I'm trying hard to remember if any of our guests have ever had earrings named after them, and
No,
that would be the second thing. That would be the second card I played after.
Okay, look, I'll keep this in mind.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I have a question. Have you ever ridden on an elephant?
I have, Tess. Yes, yes. One of my favorite memories. I talk about this in my guesses on the table, but I rode an elephant in Nepal in the jungle, and that's a thing you do there. And it was a very boring elephant ride because they're very slow and they just plod. And we're on this box on the top of the elephant, just plodding through the jungle, and it was fun at first. And then I was bored. And then all of a sudden, the guide told me that he said in Nepalese, "Tapai Dani Moticha," which translates, "You are very fat." He's talking about me.
Oh,
So he then told me I was throwing off the weight of this elephant. And so I was unsure to laugh or cry, but I just laughed. And he told me then, okay, you need to get onto the back of the elephant, um, or onto the head of the elephant off the back. And so I very gingerly tried while this elephant was moving. And I'm on the head of this elephant with no handles, just trying to hold on to its ears. And all of a sudden, the elephant saw its girlfriend out in the field, and it began to run and fast. And then I will spare you the National Geographic details, but I'm just going to say that all of a sudden I had slid from the head back into the box on the back of the elephant.
that's amazing. Well, hopefully they named the baby after you.
Well, I'm unsure. Maybe that's the next thing I should lead with.
That's also, I have ridden on an elephant while it was mating with its girlfriend. I think, you know what? We're going to find out in 2 years that Jenn was actually a liar. She has never left her home. She lives in her basement, and none of these things actually happened. But she's drinking coffee, and that's helping her make up stories.
Yeah, well, I do have some coffee mugs from these places, so back there.
Yes, the collector of coffee mugs. Very good. Okay. Well, real quick, we've got just a couple minutes left. Jenn, tell us tell us one thing. Give us one jewel to think about from your travels, from all your experiences. What's one thing you want to leave us with?
Oh, I love that. I would encourage you that there is a God who sees you, who knows you, who loves you, and who will stand on the ground of suffering with you because he carried a cross for you. So that's what I would say.
Love that. Love that. Now, if people want to read your books or get a hold of you or connect with you, how can they do that?
So you can go to jenniferhand.org. And then if you want to find out more about Hope Beneath the Rubble, just go to hopebeneaththerubble.com. And there's a sample chapter there, and it just kind of tells about this book resource. So,
because originally I thought Tess said Hope with Barney Rubble. And I think it's an entirely different idea.
I have not met Barney Rubble, so
And
I cannot lead with that, Jack.
No.
That's right.
It's proof that he actually doesn't listen to me right there.
Okay, that's true too. Tess, what's next for you?
Well, we just got home from Lake Ann Camp in Michigan on the weekend, which was an amazing conference. Have you been there ever, Jenn?
No.
So it was so good. That's an amazing camp. Like, yeah, it's really great. So we just got home from there. Next weekend, like a week from now, we're heading to British Columbia to speak at Aldergrove Alliance Church. So I'm super pumped about that. And we're going there for the weekend. So we're going to see mountains and stuff as well. And yeah, that's what's next for us. And yeah. What about you, Jack? What's going on with the Fidgets? Jack has a comedy improv team, Jenn, and they do the most hilarious fundraisers. So this is what they do. Let me tell her. Okay. They sell mouse traps for whatever the organization, $10 a piece or something. And then during the break, they set them and put them all over the stage. So like how many mouse traps, Jack? 500?
Yeah, 500, 600.
500 mouse traps on the stage. And then Jack and one of the other guys are blindfolded with no socks or shoes, with their pants rolled up. They do a scene where they have to go across the stage on their hands and knees, some kind of a skit. And those mouse traps are going off left and right. And it's hilarious. It's my favorite thing that the Fidgets do. It's hilarious. And it raises so much money for the organization.
Wow.
Like tens of thousands of dollars in one night. I was so excited.
Was that a mouse trap? Did it go off?
I just was so excited I hit my desk. So yeah. So that's what
That's
they do.
really cool. That makes me sweat a little bit.
Yeah. Very fun.
I mean, it's no missile strike, okay?
Okay, well.
It is mouse traps. And that's why Jen's never been to Lake Ann, because chance of missile strikes is zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hope.
Sorry. So the Fidgets, we've got a big youth retreat coming up the weekend after Thanksgiving. And then our season really starts. Thank you, Karen Edwards. Fidgets are hilarious. Then our season starts, and we got shows all over the country. So
I love it.
A lot of fun.
So fun. Yeah. So we will be back here, same bat station, same bat time next weekend. Yeah, I think so.
I love it. You make sure your guest has some hot coffee.
That's right. Thanks for coming on, Jenn.
I loved it. I love being with y'all.
Yeah.
We should do this again.
Oh, let's do it again.